I'm convinced this is why Sister Wives Kody Brown doesn't love Robyn. I will explain everything. Never miss this video. Please subscribe to the channel. What must it be like to devote years of your life to a marriage and then feel more and more ignored as your spouse turns their focus elsewhere? Oh, and that person is their spouse as well. You know, it sounds annoying. However, on Sister Wives, that is precisely what took place. Years of upheaval ensued, even after 3 of Kody Brown's 4 wives left him. From what was supposed to be a show depicting a healthy polygamous dynamic, there were a lot of problems in the family, but one of the biggest ones was Kody's obvious partiality for Robyn. When his first 3 wives eventually left the poisonous relationship and criticized Kody's actions, many were relieved. For years, I believed that Kody's only desire was to be with Robyn. He dedicated all of his time and attention to that endeavor. Despite Robyn's difficulties, he has not only stated that he has only loved her, but he has now implied that he would be interested in continuing their inadvertently monogamous dynamic. His focus is still on himself, or more precisely, on someone else, even though his eye isn't roaming. I have been criticizing Kody's narcissistic conduct for a long time, and there has been no change in his self-centered behavior. Being the lone wife left to deal with Kody has even made Robyn acknowledge that she feels overburdened. This brings up a more significant query. Is their love truly sincere? Or is his claimed love truly about approval and dominance? Robyn would probably be portrayed as the antagonist if she were to emulate her sister wives, which would be exactly like the behaviors he displayed when his previous marriages failed. If so, Kody's purported love for Robyn might be as self-serving as his hair treatment regimen. When Robyn and Kody first began dating in 2010, it appeared that Kody was completely smitten with her. However, based on the relationship specifics, I believe Kody was experiencing infatuation rather than love. He likened his emotions for Robyn to those of a teenager falling in love for the first time. Kody had 3 wives when he met Robyn, so I find it strange and, to be honest, disrespectful to his prior wives that he suddenly implies he never felt anything for them. In contrast to the routine he had established with Meri, Janelle, and Christine, Robyn represented something fresh and exciting. He had almost 20 years of experience in multiple marriages by the time he married Robyn. After obtaining a civil marriage in 1990, Kody and Meri welcomed Janelle in 1993 and Christine in 1994 through a religious union. All of the wives from those early marriages had polygamous origins, suggesting that they were intended to create multiple families. The Brown family hadn't been actively seeking to grow when Robyn was born. Kody went to considerable measures to legally wed Robyn in 2014. He never did the same for Janelle or Christine. Kody reasoned that he needed to divorce Meri in order to officially adopt Robyn's children from a prior marriage. This can appear to be a romantic, opulent gesture at first glance. However, it was also pragmatic, and perhaps even strategic. Kody strengthened his position as the patriarch by lawfully marrying Robyn, giving his favorite wife a degree of stability and legality that the others never enjoyed. I believe that Kody's preference for Robyn was clear from the start and just grew stronger as the seasons progressed. For instance, the wedding rings. Even after spiritually marrying Janelle and Christine, Kody continued to wear the same ring that Meri had given him for years. He insisted on melting that ring down when he started dating Robyn. After he married Robyn, he began wearing a new cladded ring that his wife had designed and paid for. While filming season 18, viewers later saw Kody sporting yet another new ring in 2022, which was reportedly a present from Robyn. Kody was still spiritually devoted to Meri even after Christine and Janelle had left the family. It was another smack in the face for him to replace rings once more, substituting one that represented his entire family with one that solely represented Robyn. On camera, Meri challenged him about it, but he didn't really respond. Not surprisingly, a few months later, in early 2023, Meri declared she was divorcing him. There are innumerable instances of Kody showing his preference for Robyn, in my opinion. He provided her with a nanny, something he did not do for his prior spouses. The others were still having trouble finding steady housing, but he persuaded them to contribute to the cost of her spacious new home. It was as if he completely forgot about the rest of the family once Robyn was in the picture. It also extends to the children. A number of Kody's children with Christine, Janelle, and Miri have stated that they don't have a strong bond with him and hardly ever see him. Robyn's children, both from her first marriage and her children with Kody, seem to be closer to him in the meanwhile. All of this, however, is not always evidence of love. If anything, it highlights Kody's egotism. When he feels most valued, or when it will profit him the most, he likes to concentrate his energies there. Since he is still friendly with Robyn, it probably would have been simpler for him to connect with her children, but his tense relationships with his previous, now ex-wives have made it more difficult for him to do so. The poor connection between his older children and Kody has probably gotten worse as a result of their increased outspokenness. Kody's devotion and appreciation seem to be the foundation of his attachment. He gives it to people he believes are deserving as a reward. He kept drawing parallels between Robyn's actions and the deceit and contempt he says he has encountered from his previous wives. However, those women understood Kody's shortcomings and weren't scared to confront him because they had lived with him for almost 30 years. However, the more they engaged in this activity, the more Kody appeared to have prioritized Robyn over those marriages. Robyn had rose-colored glasses when she first entered the household. In contrast to his previous relationships, which had long since passed, she and Kody were still in the honeymoon phase, and everything was new. After exiting an abusive marriage, Robyn acknowledged that she was seeking security and desired the safety and support of a multiple family. In retrospect, I think she could have loved Kody more for what he stood for than for who he truly was. The same could be true about Kody, who cherished Robyn's boosting of his self-esteem and reinforcement of the conduct he desired from his other spouses. Robyn has consistently been the most reserved and uncritical. Perhaps since she is more submissive, she has maintained her good standing with Kody for a considerable amount of time. Kody responds poorly to challenges, to put it politely. He probably thought that adding a fourth wife would change the dynamics of the household and restore his authority. That was probably the beginning of the end for his first 3 marriages, though, because he focused all of his good energy on Robyn while the other wives didn't share his beliefs. Perhaps TLC should hire a therapist to examine the sister wives cast, but they haven't done it yet. For years, fans have accused Kody of being a narcissist. He exhibits many of the typical symptoms, including a need for control, a lack of empathy, and an exaggerated feeling of self-worth, even though we are unable to give him a formal diagnosis. Since history is said to repeat itself, Robyn may experience the same cycle. Is it possible for narcissists to love someone? Narcissists often associate love with how someone makes them feel about themselves. According to specialists, it's about their ego, not about emotional closeness. This reminds me of Kody. This is not to imply that Kody suffers from NPD. However, it appears that both Robyn and he fell more in love with what the other person stood for than with their actual selves. For Robyn, Kody stood for security and safety. For Kody, Robyn stood for safety and approval. Especially compared to his previous marriages, he cherished the way she made him feel. She supported and admired him when she first appeared, and probably most significantly, she didn't oppose him. This, in my opinion, explains why he was so eager to get involved in their relationship and why he developed a pattern of partiality so fast. Additionally, the fact that Robyn no longer wears the same rose-colored glasses, possibly with a small tint, explains why the pair appears to be having problems now, more than 10 years into their marriage. Relationships with narcissistic personalities often have a pattern. Idealization is the initial stage, during which the narcissist elevates the relationship. Similar to Kody's early handling of Robyn, this time is frequently characterized by love bombing, high praise, and rapid emotional escalation. The devaluation step comes next. The affection starts to wane when the spouse starts to act independently, starts to challenge the narcissist, or stops boosting their ego. It's possible for the narcissist to start withdrawing emotionally, being critical and pulling away. The narcissist rewrites the story and emotionally distances themselves in the last stage, discard. They could portray themselves as the victim and place the blame on the other person. Kody withdrew emotionally, even though he never formally ended any of his marriages. He informed Mary that he no longer wanted to have a sexual relationship with her. He was always criticizing and pointing out the flaws in his wives. Additionally, he portrayed himself as the victim following each split. Kody accused Christine of betraying him when she left. He was projecting behaviors that he had displayed for years onto her, which was classic gaslighting. Kody frequently neglected Christine, Janelle, and Mary in favor of Robyn and her kids. However, he was unable to take responsibility for his actions when those women chose to leave. Robyn has stayed on her pedestal thus far. However, since she has acknowledged that she struggles without the help of her sister wives, there's a potential that Kody's love for her will wane, as it did in his previous marriages. And what does that say about the love he professes to have for her if he is unwilling to support her in her hour of need? That being said, Robyn and Kody, who are now monogamous, just purchased a brand new multi-million-dollar home. As Sister Wives approaches its 20th season, there are also speculations about a potential spin-off. One thing is certain, regardless of whether Kody and Robyn remain together, the drama is here to stay, and neither are we. Sister Wives. Did Kody scare new parents during mid-season break? Fans of Sister Wives, Kody Brown is back at it. It appears that he has changed into a parent that today's fans don't recognize. Let's now discuss his most recent revenue-generating endeavor and fatherly adventure. You can next determine whether he might have scared or bewildered a new set of parents. The most recent change for Kody Brown occurred during the Sister Wives mid-season break in Season 19. He was struggling financially with their Coyote Pass property when he was last seen on film. In a different matter, he is also estranged from several of his children from his previous spouses, Janelle Brown and Christine Woolley. However, it appears that he is working on a solution for both problems today. In typical Kody way, it appears that he is working on both of these issues and redefining himself. However, he drew heavily from his fathering toolkit in doing so. He then gave prospective parents guidance based on what he had extracted, and his words left many speechless. It might also be an attempt to make fun of his own children, should they happen to notice. First, it appears that the Sister Wives patriarch is returning to Cameo to sell himself to followers online through videos in an attempt to alleviate his financial difficulties. Robyn's husband has suddenly posted his open for business sign online, but Kody Brown had been declining video requests for some time. Some admirers joke that Kody has resumed filming videos in order to support Robyn's costly doll addiction. Robyn's pastime made headlines recently since Kody's wife allegedly spent over $61,000 on it over the past 2 years, while she amassed a huge collection of dolls. According to reports, that enormous amount was spent on clothing and accessories in addition to dolls. According to Robyn Brown, Kody's adult daughter, Robyn, and Kody spend far more than they can afford. In addition to returning to Cameo, Kody has increased the cost of a customized fan video to $149. There's a lot of talking and smiling there. Robyn's husband used to charge merely $99 per personalized message. But if Robyn's spending is as extravagant as Gwendolyn says, that seems like it would barely scratch the surface, even at $149 per video. To pay for Robyn's $61,000 doll habit, Kody would have to produce 410 videos, which would require about 20 hours of continuous video production, that is, if Kody's messages are that popular. Additionally, he must pay the substantial amount owed to Mary and Janelle for their interest in Coyote Pass. Additionally, Kody is suing Christine for child support obligations that include payments retroactively for nearly 4 years. Given the obligations of the sister-wives' spouse, the cameo gig probably wouldn't make a dent in the pile. Perhaps these movies aren't meant to assist Kody in meeting his financial responsibilities, though some people speculate that this could just be an attempt to enhance his ego. One of Robyn's husband's most recent cameo videos shows him getting very passionate and animated when viewers ask him for guidance. After hearing some of Kody's advice to 2 new parents, sister wives fans were taken aback. In one of his most recent cameo videos, Robyn's husband appears to become very passionate and excited when fans ask him for advice. Fans of sister wives were taken aback by some of the advice Kody provided to 2 new parents. Fans initially questioned whether the individual who made the request for the cameo video had even seen the TLC program. You may not have the best parenting skills if you've ever watched Kody interact with his children from Christine and Janelle. It might be like asking a plumber to do brain surgery when you approach Kody Brown for professional parenting guidance. At this point, several of his children intentionally shun contact with the sister wives' father, especially the children of Janelle and Christine. He talked on and on about what parents should do, though, as if he was excited to offer his parenting expertise. He used the term respect far too frequently, according to several supporters, raising red flags for onlookers. Fans witnessed a number of Janelle and Christine's children lose regard for their father during the past few seasons. Even Kody Brown eventually stopped talking to Robyn and Kody. Fans were taken aback by this since Kody maintained her relationship with Robyn and her father despite Christine, Janelle, and other of her siblings closing the door on their father. As the patriarch of the Brown family, Kody has stated during sister-wife seasons that he desired respect from his wife, Mary, Christine, and Janelle, as well as their children. However, Kody may have a different definition of respect than most people. Even if his family doesn't agree with his direction, he seems to expect them to follow his example. According to him, a wife who unconditionally and unquestioningly follows him demonstrates the respect he deserves. Robyn was the only wife who did this, Kody noted. However, in typical Kody form, spectators see one thing while he says another. Mary, Janelle, and Christine, the 3 spouses who left the marriage, witnessed Kody go above and above to win Robyn's approval. Not the other way around, as he claimed. Kody Brown was asked by a new father to make a film for his wife to commemorate the birth of their child. When it comes to babies, they're usually so easy to love. Kody informed the future parents, and Robyn's husband lighted up when he heard the word baby. It seems odd to use the word usually. Why wouldn't you love a baby? In particular, a child of your own. Next, Kody stated that the true secret to raising your kids is to love them both when they grow up and when they start acting out. Christine's ex-husband seems to be talking about how much he loved his children despite his dislike for them. Additionally, we've seen on Sister Wives the arguments that suggested he occasionally didn't like his children. Additionally, Kody stated that you must never let your children do anything to you that will make you resent them if you want to love them. Don't allow your children do anything that aggravates you. That's a little goofy. What the hell would that do? Fans of Sister Wives who heard the message believe Kody is blaming the child. Additionally, Janelle's ex seems to be claiming that his kids caused him to become resentful of them. Make sure you are loving them enough for them to keep that respect. But you have to set the boundary for that respect. Kody continued while discussing respect. Meanwhile, many Sister Wives fans believe that his children from Janelle and Christine lost love for their father since he prioritized Robyn and her children. Additionally, some fans fear that the new parents who purchased this cameo video would adopt his strange parenting style. There was no mention of unconditional love for your child in the message. The conclusion is that Kody's perspective might be that your child is to blame if they wind up resenting you since they did something that caused you to feel that way. Is the lesson Robyn's husband sent about transferring the blame on parenting worth $149? The general theme seems to be kid blaming, which doesn't seem like the best course of action for new parents. As the second half of Sister Wives Season 19 approaches, on April 20th on TLC, here is what Kody Brown is doing today. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.